going on YouTube? How's everybody today? Let's get to here. So today we're going to talk about either a compilation or an EP. I was reading about it today on the internet and it was either one or the other, so a compilation EP. It's by a band called The Microphones. The name of the album, we'll call it, is Window. It was released in the year 2000 on Yoyo Records. Microphones has been known as Mount Eerie since 2004, but they started off being called The Microphones, and it's pretty much just this one guy named Philip Elvrum and a couple of his, friends from Washington, a couple of, people from the indie rock scene helping him out, but he's the principal member of the band. He was born in 1978. He's also a member of this band called D+ and Old Time Religion. Old Time Religion's kind of an interesting album too. I have that album and it's okay. But I didn't know a lot about The Microphones when I picked up this album. I just kind of saw it in the experimental rock section at the record store and I went, it looks kind of interesting. It's got this weird picture of a house and, some country house, acreage, I don't know. But yeah, it's just this weird kind of lo-fi experimental indie rock kind of album. It's got like some very sparse kind of instrumentation going on and some very loud reverby bass and kind of like just, I don't know how the vocals can be described, just kind of like hushed kind of vocals, I guess, like mildly emotive. Sometimes there's, I think a couple tracks have a female's vocals on it, but there's 23 songs on here, 23 tracks I should say, and it's 40 minutes worth of music, but songs like 8 to 23 are just little snippets and clippets of, or excerpts, I guess, from this album that came out before it called Don't Wake Me Up, which is probably a better album. It's supposed to be like a companion piece, I guess. It's got clips of like drums and percussions and like some vocals and stuff, and I don't know, it's pretty weird. Like, I didn't really like this album. It wasn't really like engaging or like very interesting to listen to. Like, I like kind of lo-fi stuff and I like experimental stuff, but it's just this whole thing was like, I don't know, very kind of, maybe it was just the sparseness of it. Like, it did have some cool electronics on it. It did have like some weird instrumentation, like had some like xylophones and like a little bit of noise on here. What else? Like some weird acoustic guitar. It was very like fragmented though, but yeah, the whole problem was like some sections of it, like some of the snippets or excerpts were just like weird drum solos and then just some weird bass sounds. It was just like, there's also this part where they're just going and it goes on for like probably like 2 minutes and it's just like, what's going on here? But yeah, I guess it's trying to aiming for this kind of dreamy, ethereal kind of thing, but it kind of falls short. I thought it was kind of like irritating to listen to. I've listened to it a few times and I'm always like, I'm going to try to get this album today, but I guess it's not an album at all. I guess you have to listen to the album that came up before it to really understand it, but as a standalone separate thing, which it is, it doesn't say companion piece anywhere on here. I don't know. But there are a couple like, lo-fi gems. A lot of people online said it was pretty good. It was supposed to be beautiful and mesmerizing, hypnotizing, all that kind of thing. But it wasn't really, like, it's got some pretty interesting sound experiments, but I would never say this is required listening. Artwork's pretty, I don't know, just another 2 pictures of a house there. And then you got a picture of Phil, Mr. Elvrum, wearing flannel, from Washington. Then it's just got all like the people who helped him out on here. There's a kind of a big name guy named Calvin Johnson. He's kind of in the scene. I think he's part of the Pharmacists. I hope I'm getting that right. And there's the guy playing the xylophone, which I put it together that there's a xylophone on here. But yeah, just some weird, echoey kind of drums, echoey kind of fuzzy bass, some weird acoustic guitar, some, so-so singing, like, I don't know. As far as lo-fi experimental music goes, this isn't the most like mind-blowing stuff like this. I guess this guy started his band because he's working in a record store and he was just fooling around with some recording equipment and his boss kind of liked what he's doing. He's just tampering with recording techniques and stuff, and his boss helped him release some tapes and got the whole kind of band started. I've heard some newer Mount Eerie stuff that's been kind of good though, so I don't know. I'm not trying to say the Microphones are bad because I'm sure they have really good albums. It's just, this is just some weird EP that is just probably for completists and fans, so I don't know. No diss to the Microphones, but I didn't really dig this album very much. named Window, released in 2000 on Yoyo Records.